Do you struggle with bad dreams? We're going to talk all about it. Stay tuned. That's what's up next. Hi, my name is Natasha Daniels. I'm a therapist who makes videos for people with anxiety or OCD. And today I'm going to talk about bad dreams. Do you struggle with bad dreams? Everybody has bad dreams once in a while, but some of us have them all the time. And when you have a bad dream, you can actually become fearful of going to sleep because you're afraid you're going to have more bad dreams. So in this video today, I want to talk to you about 1, what to do when you wake up from a bad dream, 2, what to do to try to avoid having more bad dreams, and 3, looking at bad dreams in a little bit more detail about what they might be trying to tell you. Okay, before I get started, don't forget to hit subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified because I make new videos every Thursday. So let's first start with waking up and having a bad dream. A lot of times we wake up and we're not completely awake and we are still living in the dream and our body is physiologically responding to the dream. So our heart rate is up, we might feel sweaty or clammy, we might be fearful that it's still happening or there's someone in the room or we're in danger. We're still living in that dream even when we're awake, even if you're very aware of your environment. So sometimes people get upset about having the bad dream, they go back to bed and guess what happens? They go right back into the dream. Has that happened to you? That happens to me a lot when I don't try to get out of the dream before going back to bed. And then you can wind up having this bad dream or different renditions of this bad dream all night long, which can be exhausting and you wake up tired and traumatized. So when you wake up from a bad dream, there are a couple of things that you can do to hopefully try to prevent yourself from going back into that bad dream. Now, dreams have their own control. We can't really control dreams, but there are things that we can do to stack the deck in your favor. So when I have a bad dream and I don't want to go back into it, I turn my light on and I get acclimated to my room. I'm like aware of my room. I realize I'm in my bed. You know, I kind of ground myself. I look at the clock. I see what time it is. If it was about somebody in my family, I might go look at them and say, okay, they're okay. I'm doing okay. Everything's okay. If I had like an injury, I'll see I'm okay. And then I'm going to put on maybe some guided imagery or meditation to put myself back in a sleep that is different than the one I have. Now, if you don't like that or you're sleeping next to somebody, you don't want to wake them up, you can use sleep headphones. I do have those. It's a headband that actually has headphones inside. Or you can purposely put yourself in another place. So I talk about going into other worlds, like creating a world in your head as a way to have some visual imagery to calm yourself down. And you can actually create that in general. I use that when I get my blood taken. I don't like that. And so I have this beautiful tropical fish world that I go to. And it's my go-to world no matter what. If I'm anxious, I can close my eyes and see it. If I'm having a hard time going to sleep, I can close my eyes and see it. I actually did a whole video on how to create a visual world in your head. And if I wake up from a bad dream and I really don't want to go back into that bad dream and I'm anxious about it, I'll close my eyes, I'll really go into that world and I will spend some time smelling that world. I know that sounds weird. Looking at the world, feeling the world, right? You want it to be multidimensional. So don't just, give your brain back to the bad dream. You want to put your brain somewhere else before you go to sleep. I know easier said than done, but it does stack the deck that you are less likely to go back into that dream if you change the chapter in your brain and you're refocusing your attention on something else. Even if you get up and you read maybe like a page in a book that you're reading, anything that can change the channel in your brain will help you go back to bed. And then you may not want to turn the light on if you're sensitive to light and if that's going to wake your brain up too much. You might have like a little side lamp or a night light or something like that so you're not fully waking yourself up where it's hard to go back to bed. Okay, that's when you wake up from a bad dream. Now, to prevent a bad dream, we don't always have full control. So I just want to say that because you can do all these things and sometimes you might still have a bad dream, but you are doing some things to be proactive to hopefully prevent that. So again, the guided imagery is really important because what your brain stops at, what your brain remembers before it goes into that delta state is more likely what it's going to focus on. Not always, but it's more likely. So if you go to bed listening to guided imagery or meditation or a story, a sleep story, I prefer sleep stories because they're purposely designed to help you go to sleep. You can look at the Calm app or Headspace, or there's a million of them actually, a guided imagery like CD, that sounds old-fashioned, but there's tons of options out there. Find what speaks to you and have that. Now you can really use that both before you go to bed, and you can use it when you wake up if you're having a bad dream. So it can really be a good coping mechanism if you start to like that and use that. I actually just like music with delta waves in the background. So I use Brainwaves. It's an app. You can Google it. Just type Brainwaves app. It'll pop up. I don't think they make one for Android, but I know they make one for Apple. So there's probably a different type of app that does brainwaves, I'm sure. And my brain is mirroring what it's hearing. So I'm listening to music, but underneath there's delta waves, which is the brain waves that are going to facilitate sleep. They're going to make me want to sleep. And so when I listen to that, when I'm relaxing and I'm trying to go to bed, it puts my brain in a very calm state. If I wake up and I'm having a rough time, I can play that music and it puts me back in a calm state. Another thing is our senses. So smelling things when you're going to bed actually can really put you in a calm state, and you're more likely to have positive dreams when you're smelling something positive. I know that sounds weird, but it's true. So they make a lot of sprays that you can spray on your pillow purposely for sleep. There's lavender ones. You have to just be careful that you're not allergic. My son actually, I sprayed lavender on his pillow and he broke out. So you have to be careful that you're not allergic to what you're spraying. But good smells when you're going to bed, whatever that is for you, can really create some positive mood, which will help you kind of fall into your sleep. Okay, so those are just some tidbits. They may or may not work all the time, but they're something more than nothing. When we don't do anything, we're really going to be victim to whatever our brain wants to hold on to and make us dream. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is the symbolism of dreams. So if you're having bad dreams, there are a couple of different reasons why that can be. One, when we have an anxious brain or we have anxiety or OCD, our brain has some garbage that it wants to filter out. And so a lot of our anxiety or OCD themes can ooze into our sleep state and into our dreams. And so sometimes we'll dream about what we are the most fearful of. So that's one category. Another category is we saw something scary. So we saw something that really triggered us or upset us, whether it was literally like a horror movie, or it was one of our themes, like something that we saw made us worry about something. And so our brain processes it out by giving us a dream. Thanks, brain, right? We don't need that. But the third category is sometimes our brain subconsciously is sending us some messages, and it's letting us know some things that maybe consciously we're not aware of. So it's good to have a dream journal and keep it by your bed and just write down when you have dreams, and you can start to see some patterns. It took me a while, but I started to notice that every time I dream that there is like a huge wave coming and it's about to drown me, that I'm stressed. So when I have that dream and I feel like I'm doing okay, but for a few days in a row, I'm running from waves or a tsunami, or sometimes I'm really high on a building and the building is starting to sway and it's about to fall into the ocean. I've had that quite a lot. That means I'm overwhelmed. And so our dreams can be really scary, but they're not literal. Sometimes they're symbolic. And so you want to look at what is the symbolism of your dream. I also have another bad dream a lot where I'm lost and I can't find my way back. So you can start to process these things and write them down and notice, what are these dreams telling me? If they're not obvious, if it's not like, well, that's my main fear, that's my main anxiety fear, or I just saw a horror movie about that. When you're starting to see, I'm having that dream in a different way, but the same theme for months and months or years and years, it's telling you something. It's symbolic and you want to look at it, and you may not know that symbolism right away. Okay, well, I hope that helps a little bit. I hope that you sleep better, and I hope you try some of these things. And if you have some interesting dreams you want to share with other people, you can leave them in a comment below. I'm sure that people will love to swap dreams and symbolism and all that kind of stuff. And if you do something that helps you for your bad dreams, share it with other people and write it down. Okay? Well, I hope that you find the sparkle in everything you do and sparkle in your dreams, and I will see you again next Thursday. Take care.